Well, hello there, my friend. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Gavin. This is my channel where most nights, we didn't do one yesterday. Work got in the way. I'm so sorry about that. I have a day job, but yeah, most days we join one another at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about true crime cases and news. And sometimes we're a little bit behind other folks, other channels that are awesome that I want to be like. But I kind of like taking it slow. I don't mind not being the first person to talk about things. And in fact, everybody kind of gets to know that, hey, eventually Gavin's going to talk about these things. There's going to be really, really good discussion over in the live chat, thanks to our amazing moderators and you. By the way, today we are talking about the brutal murder of four University of Idaho students in Moscow, Idaho. 20-year-old Xana Kernodle, 20-year-old Ethan Chapin, and then 21-year-olds Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez. Of course, you guys know that Brian Kohberger, their convicted murderer, he was convicted in these killings. He was sentenced yesterday. But as is tradition, in the sentencing hearing, victim impact statements get to be made. This is about 2 hours worth of victim impact statements. 3.5 hours, 3 hours, something like that. It's a long hearing. We're not going to get it all tonight. In fact, we might do this for the next 4 or 5 nights, just going through it. Why do I have his picture up there? Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I just forget. Before we get into this, though, a couple things. I've been so excited. I have gotten some new glasses. Check out the options. You guys ready? Option number one. Okay. Uh, I like black frames. Option number two. I think is okay. Option number three, which is my favorite, kind of this brow line looking thing. What do you think? It's my first new pair of glasses. I got three of them in 10 years. But here's the problem. In those 10 years, I've become an old man. I cannot see my computer screen with any of those glasses. Everything looks great about 5, 6 feet out and beyond, but I can't wear them for the live stream. So you know what I had to do? I had to order basically reading glasses. I didn't want to do bifocals, but so I ordered two pairs of reading glasses. And then I broke down and I bought a pair of like the multifocal ones. They will be in a week or two. Until then, we will have to just stick with the old glasses. Hey, speaking of dudes with glasses, are you guys aware that there's a treasure hunt going on? The great 2025 Baby Gavin treasure hunt. It's a treasure hunt game. It's for fun. All of the first, second, and third place winners have already solved it. So we're not playing anymore for booty. We are playing for fun. So if you're into clue games and just having a little bit of fun, head on over to gavinfish.com. There's a link down in the description below. Check out the treasure hunt and click on this button to begin. Now, guys, you guys can't see. There we go. Click on that button to begin. I want to let you know that this is not a email gathering exercise. I only want your email in order to send you clues and stuff like that. Once the game's over, it's over. Uh, so yeah, if you want to play, go do that. Also, speaking of, also when you click on this little icon right there, that will take you up to the fish tank. That's where we hang out on Facebook. We talk about a lot of things, including the Kohberger hearing, including our old nemesis, Stephen Stearns, who his latest mugshot is out, all sorts of stuff. So join us there. Also, over on Crime Cod, Look, there is a terrific article by Jacob Charles on the hearing. You can go to crimecod.com, or on the front page of gavinfish.com. There are CrimeCod articles that you can check out right in there. Okay. Last thing before we really get into this, and you're like, dude, Gavin, get it on. There's one other thing that I'm really, really proud of. I haven't put a link to it. Maybe Autumn can find this. But here in Western Pennsylvania, there is a local jail that is pretty notorious for allegations that there are certain abuses that happen inside. I have begun a series on reporting on what some of the former corrections officers and former inmates have to say. The first article in the series came out yesterday. I'm pretty darn proud of it. It is a long piece, but if you are interested in reading what I write on the daily, that's a very long piece. Just encourage you to head over to explorevenango.com. You'll find it. Maybe Autumn. Oh, Autumn already did it. Autumn put a link in there if you guys want to check it out. Okay. Now that is the end of me just doing shameless plugs. Let's get on over here. We are going to get started, and hopefully our audio is going to be good. I did bump it up as much as I could.
Barlow. The state is represented by Mr. Thompson, Ms. Jennings, Mr. Hurwitz, Mr. Nye, and Ms. Allen. This is the time set for sentencing in this case. The defendant previously entered a plea of guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. In exchange, the parties stipulated to recommend a sentence consisting of, on burglary, 10 years fixed, on each of the 4 counts of first-degree murder, life fixed.
Hey, I want to give a fair warning to folks as we go along here. We're not going to do the whole 3 hours today. I think a lot of it, maybe a half hour of it, is a media conference, which we're going to get into. But I just want to give you fair warning if you're not from around here, this is your first time here or second, we do tend to interrupt along the way and talk about things as we go. Put GF in your comment if you want me to be able to see it on my end. Okay?
The parties waived pre-sentence investigation. To my understanding, neither party submitted a sentencing memorandum or other materials for the court. The court is familiar with the file and the evidence submitted previously by the parties as it has reviewed them throughout the case and in anticipation of trial. Is there any legal cause why sentence should not be imposed at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Does the state, before impact statements and arguments, wish to present evidence today?
Your Honor, the state does not intend to present evidence in a documentary sense. We have provided the court through the clerk with photographs that we would like to use during the course of our sentencing argument.
Sure. All right.
Thank you.
But no testimony other than impact statements?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. So with that, let's start with then impact statements.
Ms. Jennings will be introducing
And my understanding, just so I'm clear, I indicated through the trial court administrator that we need to see if any of the victims wish to have the camera not running and audio only. And my understanding is all of them indicated they are fine with the video. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
All right, very well.
Autumn, I checked. Part 2 is not up yet. I checked that just like an hour ago.
Your Honor, the first, and we're taking these in the order, victim impact statements in the order that the charges were listed in the indictment. The first charge being burglary. So we will have Bethany Funka's statement, and she has asked that her friend Emilia Lant read that statement.
All right, any objection to that? All right, Very well.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be speaking on behalf of Bethany, and so, yeah, here it reads. My name is Bethany Funk, and I was roommates with Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. I not only lost some of my best friends, but I also lost a sister. Never in a million years would I have thought that something like this would have happened to my closest friends. I thought that we were going to wake up and go upstairs, see them and tell them how they had scared us and that they were going to tease us about how we are constantly scaredy cats. And make jokes about it as we would go to Taco Bell like always. But sadly, that is not what happened and what turned out to be my worst nightmare. When I first woke up that morning, I had no idea what happened. I woke up around 7 with a terrible toothache, so I called my dad, who is a dentist, and he asked what I should do. He told me to take Advil, so I did, and I went back to sleep. I was still out of it and still didn't know what happened. If I had known, I of course would have called 911 right away. I still carry so much regret and guilt for not knowing what had happened and not calling right away, even though I understand it wouldn't have changed anything, not even if the paramedics had been right outside the door. I was so frantic that morning and scared to death, not knowing what had happened. And when I made the 911 call, I couldn't even get out the words. And from then on, I don't remember a thing. It was like my brain wiped that whole memory. That was the worst day of my life. And I know it always will be. While I was still in shock, trying to process the fact that my friends were truly gone, I had been attacked by the public. I was grieving, numb, and unsure of what had happened was even real. And at the same time, I was getting flooded with death threats and hateful messages from people who did not know me at all or know the dynamic of our friendship.
I don't understand people that will do that. There is nothing that I understand about you. I have no sympathy for you. I do not get it. Why would anybody send any type of threat or any type of, I don't know, criticism? I mean, I remember having questions. I wonder what happened there. Right? Seems kind of odd, but I also understand that they're college kids, that there are all sorts of things, all sorts of dynamics just in our daily routines. Guys, don't be those people. Don't ever be those people online. Ever. And I know that you wouldn't. I see the live chat. I know that you wouldn't, but my goodness.
Social media made it so much worse, and strangers made up stories to entertain themselves. The media harassed not just me, but also my family. People showed up at our house. They called my phone, my parents' phones, other family members' phones, and we were chased while I was still trying to survive emotionally and grieve the loss of my friends. I hated and still hate that they are gone, but for some reason, I am still here and I got to live. I still think about this every day. Why me? Why did I get to live and not them? For the longest time, I could not even look at their families without feeling sick with guilt. I did not know what to say or what to do. I was terrified that my presence just made their pain worse, and I was still here when their kid, their siblings and their friends, their loved ones should have been here instead. After everything happened, I was afraid to go into my own backyard or alone in my house. I was scared that the person who did this would come for me next. I was always scared that the media would try to catch me at any moment of any day, even when I was just walking around my house. I made my parents close all the blinds during the day so no one could see me even in the slightest chance. I barely left the house, and when I did, I made sure I was never alone.
Stephen, I think you're talking about the body language of Mr. Koberger, right? That he's just sitting there. No, my thought on him. This is one of these guys that I honestly just think is a psychopath or a sociopath. I have no idea. There's something wrong. He wanted to be a serial killer, wanted to be a killer, wanted to be known as a hunter. This is exactly what he wanted. Even if he got caught, he still got to be that thing. So, yeah, I just think this is a very sick, very disturbed person. I think that there's nothing that anybody says that is going to penetrate his shell. I also don't think that he's going to remember anything that anybody says. And so what's the purpose of this whole the practice of doing impact statements? Well, I think it's mostly beneficial for those giving the statement. You get to say your piece. You get to decide you're going to say your piece. And I think that that's really valuable. Thanks for the comment.
I slept in my parents' room for almost a year. I made them double lock every door, set an alarm,
Oh,
and still check everywhere in the room just in case someone was hiding. And I still check my room every night before, and I double lock it. I have not slept through a single night since this happened. I constantly wake up in panics, terrified. Someone is breaking in, or someone is here to hurt me, or I'm about to lose someone else that I love. The fear never really leaves. For a long time, I could barely get out of bed, but one day I realized I have to live for them. They did not get the chance to keep living, but I do, and I will not take that for granted. So now every day I remind myself to live for them, and everything I do it with them in mind. I am still scared to go out in public, but I force myself to do things because I know that they would want me to keep living my life to the fullest. I am beyond blessed to still be here, and I refuse to take that for granted when they did not get a chance.
hey, let me just comment on this here for a second. And I think a lot of you can understand this. I did not ever lose anybody in my life in such a vicious, senseless way as murder. So I don't want you to think that I'm putting myself in that position. But I have lost people that I love, and did so as a young man, as a teenager. There is something very comforting in the idea that your loved one who has passed on might be watching, like might be proud, might be, you know, proud of the person you are, the decision you made, or the decision you made not to do something, or the parent you are, or the daughter or son that you are, the friend that you are. There's something very comforting in that. And I hope for her sake that that is something that she finds of comfort for the rest of her life. I really do, because in my experience, it's helpful.
Our house was not just a house, it was a home. It was where we laughed till we couldn't breathe, make meals, did crafts, binge watch reality shows, played games, and spent lazy days on the couch. It was movie nights, wine nights, morning debriefs, pranks, hot chocolate, cookies, and warmth. I would cherish those memories forever, and I will not let what happened erase how special our home was or how much those memories meant to me. Now I would like to share some bits and pieces of who they were as people and some of the memories that we shared. One of my favorite memories was Halloween, and we all went to Sigma Chi. But instead of partying, we just sat in an apartment, talking and laughing all night long.
I don't know, Pauline.
I do not think I've ever laughed that hard in my life. We did not care about the party, we were just happy to be with each other. Xana was 1 in a million. She was the life of the party. But she was also the kindest and funniest person I knew. Everyone loved her because she made everyone feel so loved. She was just someone you always wanted to be around, no matter the circumstance. One of my favorite days with Xana was when she laid on the couch, when we laid on the couch together all day watching movies and snacking. Or when she, Maddie, and I would go and get margaritas, chips, and salsa. She would also light up a room with her presence alone. Kaylee had the most beautiful, radiant smile. And she was so kind, but also one of the funniest people I've ever known. She loved playing little pranks. And she always had us laughing so hard that we could not breathe. She was so full of energy and life. I really believed that she could have ruled the world if she wanted to, and she would have been America's sweetheart. Ethan was the sweetest, most genuine guy. He was always smiling and always making other people smile too. Ethan was the kind of person you wanted around. He was so kind and easy to talk to, and just so fun. And the way he cared for Xana was truly something to admire. And really was proof that storybook love and true romances really do exist. It was not only obvious to me, but everyone that was around Ethan and Xana that they were absolute soulmates. Maddie was not only one of my best friends, but she was the older sister I would have always wanted. There was no one I looked up to or admired more than Maddie. She was truly a ray of sunshine, and everyone was drawn to her. She was so kind, loving, funny, fun, and passionate. She had the sweetest soul and wanted nothing but the best for everyone, and to love and show love to everyone. She took me under her wing and always made me feel so safe and included, and above all, loved and valued. She never failed to make me laugh or put a smile on my face. Still to this day, I am beyond grateful that she chose me to be her sorority little, and I thank God every day that I not only got to know her, but had her as one of my best friends. Honestly, I cannot pinpoint one favorite memory with Maddie because I have so many, and this would be a very long read if I did. But if some little memories with her that I cherish is when the two of us made a nice dinner and split some wine, or when we would binge watch Jersey Shore or Summer House. When we came up with a whole dance routine on Halloween and danced and sang all night, like no one was watching. All the late night walks home from going out, and just little shopping trips and so much more. I am beyond blessed that I had the chance to know each and every one of them. They changed my life in ways I would have never put into words. I hope that they are remembered for who they are, not what happened to them, because who they are were so beautiful, and they deserve to be remembered in the highest way.
That is something that is unfortunate, I think, for most of us, the ones who didn't know these victims, Xana, Ethan, Madison, and Kaylee. We are going to remember them as the victims of Bryan Kohberger, and that sucks because I think Bryan Kohberger really enjoys that. I mean, I think that like in some sick way, he's getting satisfaction out of this. He's still getting it. But yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that as stories are told, documentaries, movies, books, things like that, as those things are published and created, that at least partly the personalities and the value of these young people is not lost. Unfortunately, the world we live in, that's what we're mostly going to remember, is that they were victims of that monster. And I hate to say that. I'm not that kind of person. But, man, it's hard with him.
Heart breaks every time I go to text one of them or how badly I wish I could see and hang out with them. And then I remember I cannot. I will never be able to again. But I still talk to them in my prayers every single night, and I always will. I wish more than anything I could hug them one last time. And I wish I could tell them how much I love them. And even though I cannot, I still tell them every night. I will keep living for them as long as I am lucky enough to still be here. And they were all truly one of a kind. And they will be in our hearts forever and always.
That's beautifully written. And that's a brave young woman to deliver that.
Convey to Bethany my appreciation for her courage, and I hope that she heals.
Next is Dylan Mortensen. We're asking for some accommodations for Ms. Mortensen and that she be allowed to sit in my seat.
Sure.
Susan, yeah, I think they're glad to have all of this almost behind
Just
them.
take your time, all right?
I have not. I try to just watch these with you guys.
Thank you, Your Honor. What happened that night changed everything. Because of him, four beautiful, genuine, compassionate people were taken from this world for no reason. He didn't just take their lives. He took the light that carried it into every room. He took away how they made everyone feel safe, loved, and full of joy. He took away the ability for me to tell them that I love them and that I'm so proud of them. He took away who they were becoming and the futures they were going to have. He took away birthdays, graduations, celebrations, and all the memories that we were supposed to make. All of it is gone. And all the people who loved them.
You know what just occurred to me? And I'm sorry to interrupt her because she's rad. But something just occurred to me. Two of our children were in high school during the COVID-19 pandemic. And having to go through that and not have a traditional high school experience for most of their high school years, and or at least for the upper, classes, completely changed them, their trajectory, their goals, maybe even their capacities. And now I'm thinking about these kids that, they were having the college experience. What's going to happen to these kids? 4 of their friends were murdered right next to them, basically, in the same house. And they could have been victims themselves. I can't even imagine the change of trajectory in these kids' lives. It's unfair, and I'm heartbroken for them.
Are just left to carry that weight forever. He didn't just take them from the world. He took them from me, my friends, my people who felt like my home, the people I looked up to and adored more than anyone. He took away my ability to trust the world around me. What he did shattered me in places I didn't know could break. I was barely 19 when he did this. We had just celebrated my birthday at the end of September. I should have been figuring out who I was.
Yeah.
I should have been having the college experience.
Yep.
And starting to establish my future. Instead, I was forced to learn how to survive the unimaginable. I couldn't be alone. I had to sleep in my mom's bed because I was too terrified to close my eyes. Terrified that if I blinked, someone might be there. I made escape plans everywhere I went. If something happens, how do I get out? What can I use to defend myself? who can help. Then there are the panic attacks. The kind that slam into me like a tsunami out of nowhere.
I don't know,
I
Lori.
can't breathe. I can't think. I can't stop shaking. All I can do is scream because the emotional pain and the grief is too much to handle. My chest feels like it's caving in. Sometimes I drop to the floor with my heart racing, convinced something is very wrong. It's far beyond anxiety. It's my body reliving everything over and over again. My nervous system never got the message that it is over, and it won't let me forget what he did to them. People call me strong. They say I'm a survivor, but they don't see what my new reality looks like. They don't see the panic attacks, the hypervigilance, the exhaustion, the way I scan every room I enter, the way I flinch at sudden sounds. They don't know how heavy it is to carry so much pain and still be expected to keep going, and that's because of him. He stole parts of me I may never get back. He took the version of me who didn't constantly ask, what if it happens again? What if next time I don't survive?
The struggle to breathe is heart-wrenching.
He may have shattered parts of me, but I'm still putting myself back together. Piece by piece, I'm learning how to live in this new version of life. It is not easy. It hurts, but I'm still trying. Still trying, and I'm not trying just for me. I'm trying for them, my friends. About a year ago, I had a dream about them. I got to say goodbye. I told them I won't be able to see you again, so I need to tell you goodbye. They all kept asking why, and all I could say was, I can't tell you, but I have to. When I woke up, I felt shattered and heartbroken, but also strangely grateful. Like maybe in some way that dream gave us the goodbye we never got. Still, no dream can replace them, and no goodbye will ever feel finished. He is a hollow vessel, something less than human. A body without empathy, without remorse. He chose destruction. He chose evil. He feels nothing. He tried to take everything from me. My friends, my safety, my identity, my future. He took their lives, but I will continue trying to be like them, to make them proud. Living is how I honor them. Speaking today is to help me find some sort of justice for them. And I will never let him take that from me. He may have taken so much from me, but he will never get to take my voice.
Good for her.
He will never take the memories I had with him. He will never erase the love we shared, the laughs we had, or the way they made me feel seen and whole. Those things are mine. They are sacred, and he will never touch them. I get to feel sadness. I get to feel rage. I get to feel joy even when it's hard. I get to feel love even when it hurts. I get to live. And while I will still live with this pain, at least I get to live my life. He will stay here, empty, forgotten, and powerless.
Good for her.
Dylan, thank you so much for your courage. I appreciate it.
That was the judge that said that, right? That was amazing. Something just occurred to me as she's talking about dreaming of her friends, talking to them, talking about saying goodbye. That was just powerful to me. I was thinking of my dad. My dad a few days ago turned 77. Yeah, 77. And his dad died right before, like 5 weeks before his 8th birthday. So his dad's been gone for 69 years. And what she was just saying about it never going away is absolutely true from my point of view. Again, my dad's dad was not murdered. My dad, he died in a horrible accident, so it was sudden, but it doesn't compare to murder at all. But I'm just saying, like, it does not go away. These people will be revisiting this for the rest of their lives. They'll be revisiting the day it happened, the days after, the conversations that they had that impacted them, the fear that they felt, the needing to double lock things, having to be near somebody else, and having those sweet, sweet dreams that give just a little bit of respite as the years go by, just in between. I mean, this is the reason that this crime is so egregious to us as human animals, as human beings, right? Is that you've taken away, not only have you taken away the people's lives that you murdered, but also their futures, their future spouses and children, all that. You've taken all that away. But the people around them, you've taken a lot away from them too. It's that was heart-wrenching. You can hear her sobbing in the background.
Next, we have members from the Madison Mogan family. First would be Scott Laramie, Madison Mogan's stepfather. Standing by him is Karen Laramie, Madison's mother.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Scott Laramie. I'm Maddie Mogan's stepfather and the husband of Maddie's mother, Karen Laramie. I will read this victim impact statement on behalf of Karen and myself. Maddie was our gift of life, our purpose, and our hope. Maddie quickly became Karen's joy, identity, and purpose in life. I joined Maddie's life when she was 2.5 years old.
Oh,
Experience transformed me into a life of joy, love, and family. Maddie was bright, beautiful, kind, empathic. She listened carefully to others and was observant, seeing and caring about the hearts and the minds of all she encountered. She loved music and music festivals. She had a wonderful sense of humor. She excelled in school. She was an easy child to raise, almost never requiring discipline, and almost always giving us parental joy. One time Karen remembers disciplining Maddie as a little girl. Maddie responded, "You broke my heart," which of course melted ours. She had a keen wit, even at that young age. As she transitioned into teenage years, she prioritized us and extended family over many of the distractions that capture teenagers. She showered us with her presence and love at family events, barbecues, picnics, birthdays, holidays, and others. She spent countless hours with her papa, her Uncle David, Aunt Nadine, and her other close family and friends. This world was a better place with her in it. As she reached adulthood, Maddie applied her studies to be a marketing professional, entering into an internship at Payne West, and started planning her professional future. As with all things, She involved Karen and myself in the joy of her journey. As she transitioned into womanhood, Karen and I continued to be astounded at this wonderful and accomplished person we had created. All parents dream of their children accomplishing more than them. We realized this dream. All we had not become, she was becoming. Karen and I are ordinary people, but we lived extraordinary lives because we had Maddie.
That's the dream of every parent, right? Wow.
Maddie was taken senselessly and brutally in a sudden act of evil. She was taken along with the young, promising, and bright lives of Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. First, we felt disbelief. Next, we felt disorientation. Then we felt grief overcome us. Our grief is compounded even more for the Goncalves, Kernodle, and Chapin families. We speak of hope and healing, and we do have hope and some healing. But the vast emotional wound will never fully heal. Since Maddie's loss, there's emptiness in our hearts, home, and family, an endless void. After losing her mother in a car crash, Karen took years to grieve and recover. The feeling that her life with Maddie and A was perfect helped her to start to heal. Now, this is no longer perfect. After Maddie's loss, Karen felt like she was spinning out emotionally collapsing into anxiety and depression. She sometimes asks, how am I supposed to go on when I've lost my favorite person in the world? I felt the same, and we continue to struggle. The loss of Maddie has impacted so many beyond our family. Her second family is her sorority sisters who grieve alongside us. She has so many close friends who suffer from her loss. We will continue to be. Her loss will continue to be felt by the Vandal community, including Vandal Solutions on campus, where she volunteered her time for others. It helps us to know Maddie is in heaven now, freed from the trials of this earth. We, however, continue to live on without the grace and support of her presence. We will grow old without our only child.
Oh,
Our
wow.
bright, beautiful friend and daughter. In the end, there are no words that can accurately capture the devastation of losing Maddie. We will endure, and we will go on. For Maddie, we will not let our grief consume us. For Maddie, we will continue to love and care for our family and friends, including the families of Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. We will remain united with them. We can only hope that others out there suffering similar losses can look to us and see that we can overcome hatred, darkness, and evil.
Wow.
We know the law allows us to comment.
Holy cow. I want to be these people. Like, I want to be these people. If you're looking for somebody to look up to, this is incredible who they are, and what they're saying is just, I want to be them.
On the defendant and his sentence. As for his sentence, we support the plea agreement. Society needs to be protected against this evil. As for the defendant, we will not waste our words, nor will we fall into hatred and bitterness. Evil has many faces, and we now know this, but evil does not deserve our time and attention. We are done being victims. We are taking back our lives. We will turn our time, talents, and attention to hope, healing, and helping others, and to the future. We invite all those who have suffered with us on this to join us in our journey. To make this world a better place. We can move on from tragedy. Adversity will visit us, evil will visit us, but we will overcome. We can.
Those are
endure.
impressive people.
Karen and I express our gratitude to Your Honor and to the prosecution team for allowing us the opportunity to make this statement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Holy cow. Those are two impressive, extraordinary people. To lose their only child and to have so much grace and dignity. That is amazing. And there are other people that are going to make statements that are going to take a different tack, and it's totally okay. Right? Like, I have nothing but admiration for all of these people. But that was extremely, extremely impressive to me. Good folks.
So much for your courage, and I am so sorry for your loss. God bless.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is Leander James. He's the attorney for the Mogan family and victim advocate. He'll be reading a statement for Karen Laramie.
May it please the court, counsel. My name is Leander James. I am the pro bono counsel for Karen and Scott Laramie. Karen has asked me to read this statement into the record. I thank my husband, Scott, for his statement, his courage, and his unending love and support during this dark time. While words are inadequate to capture the impact of this horrific crime in our family, he expressed it as best anyone could. For Maddie's sake, I will add my supplement statement that incorporates additional impact in the context of my extended family. I am grateful to Maddie's...
This, by the way, is a terrific strategy that Karen is employing here. I don't know why she's decided to do it this way. Maybe she just couldn't. But having a representative add her supplemental statement into the record is a very good way to do it. Another good way to do it, guys, is to let the prosecutor read your statement. There's no difference. There should be no difference for us between somebody who will send their statement in to be read versus somebody who will come in and make a statement, or somebody who will read their statement. This is a very well done to have an attorney do this. I commend her for that. I commend them. They probably made that decision.
uncle, Brian Caulfield, for assisting me with the difficult task of putting our pain into words. For me and my extended family, Maddie was our hope and our light. Her beauty, both outside and in, shone its light upon everyone with whom she came in contact. Her beauty, she carried that hope and light into the future for our entire family. We have memories of our Maddie and grief and pain at her being taken from our presence. Any one of us would have given our own light to have been outshone by hers. We now look to our Creator to know that her light continues where we look to see her in His presence. Those who commit evil for their own twisted gains and purposes truly defile the efforts and sacrifices of mothers, fathers, families, teachers, clergy, public servants, service members, and all those who commit themselves to the greater good, freedoms, and the future light of our nation. Condemnation falls heavily upon those who squandered the lives of our future hopes and dreams. Some may offer forgiveness for what the defendant has done. However, we cannot at this time, or perhaps ever, nor will we ask for mercy for what he has done. His acts are too heinous. The agony and grief he has caused, too great. But we will waste no further words or thoughts on him. For Maddie's sake, we will move on. We will do our best to carry Maddie's light into this world and make it a better place. I thank the court and the prosecution for allowing me the opportunity to make my statement. And I thank all those who have and will support my family and the families of Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Laramie. Appreciate it.
Next is Ben Mogan, the father of Maddie Mogan. Actually, Your Honor, it'll be Kim Cheeley, the grandmother of Maddie Mogan.
My name is Kim Cheeley. I was Maddie Mogan's paternal grandmother, as Ben Mogan, her father, is my son. I'm here today with my sister Lori Cheeley, Maddie's great aunt, and my son Ben Mogan, and my daughter-in-law Corey Hatrock. I'd like to begin by thanking a number of people involved in bringing this case to closure. In my daughter's words, the plea deal the prosecution team reached this month is one that punishes the perpetrator of this horrendous crime, protects the public from further harm, and allows all of us who knew and loved these kids the time to grieve without the anxiety of the long and gruesome trial, the years of appeals, and potential for mistrials along the way. My family and I are so grateful to Bill Thompson and his prosecution team for their dedication and painstaking work that forced the perpetrator to admit his guilt. We want to thank the Idaho State Police, the Moscow Police Department, the FBI, and Judge Hippler. We'd also like to thank the University of Idaho officials who have treated the families of the victims with such dignity and kindness, and who have honored the 4 victims beautifully. Maddie was my first grandchild, so when she was born, all her grandparents had the distinct pleasure of deciding what we'd like to be called. I chose Nana, pretty original. But when Maddie was about 1.5 years old, her papa, Ben's dad, and I were planning to visit the new little family in Oregon. Maddie didn't have an extensive vocabulary at the time, but for some unknown reason, she called bananas ba-deedle-deedles. When Karen and Ben told her Nana was coming to visit, she figured, I say deedle-deedle for that word. So I became Deedle-Deedle, shortened to Deedle when she was about 6 or 7, and I was Deedle all her life. I don't think her stepdad, Scotty, ever knew my given name was Kim. Maddie's and my birthdays were one day apart, and a couple years before she was killed, she gave me this necklace with Deedle and Maddie engraved on it, and I added an angel wing, and it's one of my treasured possessions. I also got an angel wing tattoo never thought I'd see the day, but along with many members of our family, replicating the one that Maddie and her sorority sisters had, I wanted mine where I could see and touch it often. From preschool through grade school, I stopped teaching piano lessons early on Wednesdays and picked Maddie up for bubble baths, brownies, and books. It was our special time together, and she went home those nights in her jammies with a pan of warm brownies for her family. Although Karen and Scotty raised Maddie and did such a lovely job of parenting, we Mogans were lucky to have her for holidays and many other family gatherings. We'll always have our treasured memories of Maddie growing up in our big, extended, cooperative family, and I thank Karen and Scotty Laramie for being so generous and open and sharing Maddie with her Mogan side of the family. When the 4 kids were murdered, the foundation fell out of our world. Initially, the fear was truly debilitating. The first 6 weeks were excruciating. Despite the vigils, memorials, candlelight gatherings of students, friends, family, community members. After the arrest, in the past 2.5 years, my family has lived with grief, with the effects of traumatic grief, of which I was blissfully unaware before all of this. I now have a stack of books on grief. I've attended grief classes at hospice. I've tried EMDR, a technique that helps replace disturbing visions with something more comforting. My son Ben, his 2 sisters, Maddie's aunts, and I have all experienced depression and anxiety and sleep disturbance, requiring medical intervention at times. We've all sought counseling off and on. The struggle with media attention was extremely difficult, especially for Ben. No one should live through the violent murder of one's child. Some days it's beyond me how the parents of these kids are still upright. I'm thankful for the strong families and communities that are supporting the survivors. At the time, I could think of only 2 blessings surrounding the horrific murders. One was that Ben was living with my partner Tom and me at the time, and that we could support each other emotionally through it all. Sadly, Tom died a year ago of a rare brain cancer, and he won't be here to see justice served. He was our family's rock, and we all miss him every day. A second blessing is that my mother died of COVID several months before the kids were killed, and she didn't have to live through the horror. It was difficult to identify blessings. So we've all lost our dear child and a future with her. I ache for the loss of the dreams that she and her true love, Jake, held. And my heart goes out to Karen and Scotty and your side of Maddie's family. You've had more than your share of loss.
The wisdom,
My heart aches for the kids' roommates.
the wisdom that just oozes out of her is remarkable and inspiring.
And the families of the other victims, and also the family of the perpetrator.
Wow. Wow.
Going forward, we Mogans are choosing to put our energy and focus into honoring Maddie's too short life and sweet spirit by celebrating Maddie May Day, which my 2 daughters established. On May 25th each year, Maddie's birthday, we encourage folks to do random acts of kindness in Maddie's name.
How beautiful.
In my daughter Katie's words, may we all protect our peace in whatever way possible. unite in community and focus on joy. Please do an act in kindness in Maddie's honor during this week, so a glimmer of Maddie's light may live on. Thank you.
Thank you, and appreciate your courage, and bless you and your family.
Thank you.
Wow, man, guys. Oh, let me just go to a couple of your comments. Just the wisdom that she holds, probably from just years of experience, just impressive. A Great Dane mom started watching you because of Joel at STS, because of Ellen Greenberg. Hey, speaking of which, this is I was thinking of Josh and Sandy as we were listening to the to Scott and Karen, where that is their only daughter, right? It is. She talked about her grandmother. Deedle talked about trying to find. Did she call them blessings? In that was so beautiful. It was so remarkable. But I think about Josh and Sandy, having to be fighting still, that they have not been able to have a moment of grief. It's pretty remarkable. Thanks, Great Dane Mom. We once had a Great Dane. His name was the Dr. John Watson Fish, so that makes his first name but we called him Watson. He usually became Watsy. Susan says PTSD is horrible. Lori agrees with something that I said. Thank you, Lori. There's so much to be said for this quiet, gentle statement. The moment where she talked about her tattoo and said she never thought she'd see the day, but she wanted to have it where she could see it and touch it. That is very sweet. May 5th, Maddie May Day. Yeah. Guys, how far are we into this? 42 minutes. This is going to be a multi-parter. I don't think that I can take the emotional, the emotion for much longer tonight. I'm really proud of every single one of these people. It's not like they need my like bearded fat guy in Western Pennsylvania to be proud of them. Nonetheless, I'm very proud of them. Also proud of you guys for keeping the chat classy. You guys always do. We can thank Autumn and the rest of her moderator team, Mooney, Robin, everybody over there. Thank you very much for keeping it classy and setting that bar high for everybody. Thank you all for your comments today. We're going to come back tomorrow and grab another chunk of it. So this is going to be more than a two-parter. This is going to be probably a 4 or 5-parter, but we're going to do it. This is pretty darn amazing. Mooney saying, yeah, so proud of the chat. We worried before we got started that there would be some trolling. If there was, I didn't see it. And I'm grateful to that. And not because we felt like our crew around here would do that, but because we'd seen it on other channels happen. So anyway, thank you all for keeping it so classy. You guys are awesome. Hey, remember that you can still have a little fun. We need a little fun after this, right? You guys know the motto. We take victims seriously. We take crime seriously. We don't take ourselves seriously. Sometimes we just need to laugh and smile. And I hope that all of you do a lot of that. Go on over to the treasure hunt and follow some clues. See if you can find baby Gavin, who has gone missing out of his living room crime lab. Go see if you can find him. Join us on the fish tank. on Facebook if that is your thing. Also, don't forget about the articles that we've got a small staff of writers led by Jacob Charles writing excellent content over on Crime Cod. I do put 12 of the latest articles on the homepage, but you can also just click on Crime Cod and that will take you to the full-blown website. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of self-promotion. Hey, let me break from the self-promotion. It's going to look like self-promotion, but see this Support Me tab? If you click on that, these are all the ways that you can support me, and you guys support me so well. I want you to scroll past me all the way down to the bottom and buy Autumn, our lead moderator, a coffee, because she's rad. Okay, with that, guys, I'm going to bid you adieu until the next one, which will be tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. Until then, take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.